democracy and rule of law. We want to look at our last topic for today, and which is the recent suit filed by the Association of Mobile Money and Bank Agents in Nigeria against the Corporate Affairs Commission in relation to the deadline of the expiration of the period for registration of point of sales in Nigeria. We are aware that the operators of point of sales were given a deadline within which they must register. And that deadline, 5th of September, has since come and gone. And they have gone to court to challenge the propriety, the legality, the constitutionality, or otherwise of the powers of the Corporate Affairs Commission to compel them to embark on such registration. The matter is already pending in court. And for now, Doctor, what do you have to say concerning that suit?
You see, as a practicing lawyer, I'm aware of the principle that says once a matter is filed before a competent court,
yes,
that matter becomes sub judice.
Yes.
And we are not expected to comment too much on it.
Okay.
But however, I will say that what the people call POS, point of sales operators, had done is to exercise their constitutional right to justice. And that was what they had done. And having done that, their fate will be determined by the court. Now, the suitability or otherwise of the suit cannot be discussed because it is sub judice. However, I want to say with you that the POS persons, if you move around Nigeria, even when you go to the interior place in Aba, in Anambra, in Umuahia, you will see them in the villages there operating. And for my personal view and study, I discovered that the POS work has engaged thousands of Nigerians to keep them busy. Some of them involved in the POS operation, they are graduates who are looking for jobs, but they did not secure job. They decided to be doing that. That keep them busy. I think that is good in that aspect. The other way around, the issue of security in this country as to fraud, that area is not the area where I can go into because people say, law agents say, and some clients say they were frauded, they were duped via POS operations. And maybe that is what informed the CAC to have said, okay, come and register with us. Good afternoon. But since they have filed suit in court, it will be better for the court to determine their fate. But in all sense of responsibility, that work of POS had engaged thousands of Nigerians and keep them busy where they get their daily bread. But the adverse effect or the disadvantages of it is the area we will not be able to go into and the suitability of suit file.
Yes, we are not looking into the possible outcome of that suit, yes, because that is the matter for the court to decide. But then, as a policy, do you think it is proper to regulate the point of sales services?
You see, the Central Bank of Nigeria is there. Who is in charge of anything when it comes to monetary policy, supervision, and operation of banking operations in Nigeria? That is the duty of the Central Bank of Nigeria. And the Central Bank of Nigeria is fully aware of the operation of the POS. Whatever is done by POS is channeled through CBN, and they are aware of all the transactions taking place. So what they are doing is not out of law. It's not out of law. But I don't want a system whereby I will go into depth of it that will one way or the other be addressing the issue that might have been raised in court, because I don't have access to the process side. So I need to be guided in that aspect. Yes, we are lawyers. When we file a suit in court, we call it sub judice. Once it's sub judice, we don't need to go too much detail. But I want to say, that POS work has engaged thousands of Nigerians. kept them busy where they earn their living. When you transfer 5,000 naira, they collect 100 naira from you. From your 100 naira, they might have made like maybe 10 naira, 20 naira. If you multiply 20 naira times 20,000, you know how much that? That is millions. So that is where they earn their living. So that area is the area I am much concerned about. So that those boys, those girls, those women and men that are involved in the operation of a point of sales, their job will be cut short. But the criminal aspect of it is the area I don't like, which I know must have informed the government of steps taken. I think by the time the case is heard and the judge decides on it, the issues will be made to rest.
Yes, but not what they are saying, to every coin has two sides. What the people that have gone to court, what they are saying in effect is that the supervision, regulation, and everything that has to do with money lies with the banking industry.
Sure.
And that every POS operator is an agent of a bank, commercial bank or whatever. And that to that extent, should there be any fraud or anything, that it can easily be traced. To that extent, that stopping the operations of some of them that have not been able to register within the deadline is not proper. That's one thing they are saying. And also saying that the Corporate Affairs Commission has no powers over individuals who operate not as companies but as individuals, that actually they are extensions of banks and not companies as such. So that is a part of their grounds, and that looking at the relevant positions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, that they ought to be allowed to carry on their businesses even if they are required to register. That there shouldn't be like a deadline and ceiling and all that. Now what is important is that every operator is traceable. So what do you have to say on that?
You see, there is no how we can discuss that aspect without saying things that will touch the suit they have filed. But you see, I want to say one thing. The owners of the POS, the commercial banks, they have their own. Then there are some other bodies that we call them fintech. Those people like companies like some companies who are not commercial banks. They do with what we call online banking. They do it. So I don't want to mention the name of any company whatsoever for reasons. Now, those ones, they involve in that business, they make transactions. The transactions being done is also recorded, is also traceable. However, when we talk of put your data before the government must have had one or two reasons. You see, let me tell you, all those things they do with those POS machines, there are certain things they do. Some use SIM card. The SIM card will be duly registered, and some other things. They use internet facility to carry out the transaction. And when they do it, it records. But you see, all this terrorism, insurgency in the country, kidnapping, collecting of money from people who pay some of money. At times, the POS operators have been alleged to have been used or involved in it. Now, some people or some persons who involved in the killing, robbery, they snatch persons' ATM. They always perpetrate such atrocities through POS. I say with all respect. Now, having been doing that, that must have informed the latest development. The idea that maybe whether corporate affairs solution or federal government has no right to direct them or to limit or to restrict them to registration, that their POS machine is given to them by a particular bank and is traceable to bank. These are the issues that they will need to converse. And I think and I know that the court is the appropriate avenue to determine their fate. You see, I think a year or thereabout to go in this country, we are talking of a new currency, old currency. You are a victim of it. Because you have money, but you don't even have access to it. You wanted to collect when you beg before you get someone to say. And at the end of the day, what happened? The Supreme Court was approached. And what happened? It was laid to rest. And after that, the government of Nigeria also further approached the Supreme Court. Okay, this new currency is there is not sufficient in the circulation. The old currency should go on pari passu with the new currency. And at the end of the day, the court granted the prayers. And today we are still doing what? We are spending both old and new currency. If you check your pocket there, old currency is there. That is what is happening. So what they have done, the operators, they have acted within the ambit of the law. And as a practicing lawyer, we should allow the court to determine issues placed before the court in accordance with the law. Because going in depth may not be too fair.
Yeah, Doctor, you mentioned that POS operators may be involved in incidences of kidnapping, but don't you think that most kidnappers demand for cash? Don't you think so?
No, wait. Some they collect cash.
Most of them.
Some, I made mention of armed robbery, stealing. When they snatch somebody's ATM card, they take you to a particular POS, they perpetrate such atrocities. I've involved in such a case which I was, my services were sought for in respect of stealing. And I knew what I had and what I saw there. That was why I mentioned it. Now, but when we talk of kidnappers, they collected, some collected cash. Some of them, they don't even need cash. Some of them will even say, bring your ATM. Put it here. They remove the money. And in the process of tracing or tracking the movement of that money, they will meet a stumbling block. So in order to trace it, there is a level you can trace it up to that you meet a stumbling block. So those are the issues there. That's why I said, since they are in court determine their ability. And when court determines their ability, then we can now come back and say, okay, we can now give analysis and give expanded analysis of what happened.
So for them, what I'm saying is that the matter should be left for the court.
Let the court decide. Let the court decide.
And you don't have an opinion as to whether the companies should give them extension of time to complete their registration and otherwise.
If it's to give extension for them, they would have approached, or maybe that is one of their prayers in court. I don't know. And well, if the court now says, okay, CAC, you don't have right to limit the time of registration, it's extended indefinitely. So God be the glory. Now,
we are running up now. We want to know how your takes on what I've looked at so far, starting with Edo State, just in 3 minutes. What is your take on the Edo State gubernatorial election that is coming up on Saturday, vis-a-vis the issue of the peace accord? Just in 3 minutes.
Edo State is one of the states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. All the states are together. I appeal to people of Edo State, the voters of Edo State. Use your vote. Let your vote be your power. Determine who wants to rule you for the next 4 years. Then don't fight. Crisis, say no to crisis.
And then on the judgment against a Nigerian nurse based in the United Kingdom, what advice do you have for Nigerians?
For Nigerian nurses, be careful. Nigerian parents and Nigerian nurses. Let me be sincere. We need to be careful and we need to be caring. We don't need to be negligent. Forget about this. Be active, be proactive, and be careful and be caring when it comes to children affairs.
Thank you very much, Dr. Omorele. You have said that Nigerian parents should be caring and be loving and respect the rights of their children, which has to do with the best interest of the Nigerian child. Well, we thank you for being here again today.